Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
Well, it is Sunday. It is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that means this is The Zoo on the Prepared Mind Networks, which means the preparedmind.club, subscribestar.com, YouTube, and X and Facebook. We're all here together in one big audience, live for everyone. Welcome back. Sunday is a great show. We get to see what happened over the weekend. We get to see what's coming in this coming week, and we're going to discuss everything. I hope you brought your drinks. I hope you brought your thoughts, and I hope you're willing to share them down in the comments down below. Now, Sunday Night Live, this show is not about just me talking. It's about your ideas, the thoughts, the predictions, the discoveries, what is going on out there that we want to talk about right here in the studio. So if you have something to say, the best way to get up here on the screen with your question to show the world that it's not just me, it's what you guys want to discuss. Us, Americans, and also people around the world, from Canada down to Mexico, over to Australia, and then the other way, across the pond, the other pond, to England, Scotland, Ireland, well, the Netherlands, France, Germany, and all around the world, folks. It's a great broadcast to be a part of. And if you hit that super chat button right up there, super chat button, you're on the show. We've also got Venmo, CashApp, and PayPal down below. So let's start with this story. It's come out. Oh, yes, please. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, the follow button, whatever it takes. And then share, and share these videos so that people can wake the hell up and get that red pill. It's hard to get in your mouth. It's hard to choke it down. But once you do and you wake up, you are awake. You're awake. So share that internet address and let's get into it. Barack Obama has gotten into the news this weekend. Well, he was done with political office in 2016, wasn't he? Wasn't that it? His term was over. Yet here we are 8 years later, and he's back in the news. I don't think any other president, and I say that with a little disdain for Obama, because I don't think he was president. I think he was a foreign national and a Manchurian candidate. In any event, he's back in the news for, well, money laundering. We're going to find out where this goes, folks. But down in the Cayman Islands, which is on the other side of Cuba, in the Gulf of America, down into the Caribbean, Cayman Islands, laundering money, government money, you said money, your tax money. And then from there, it was sent out to fund all kinds of rotten shit. And what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the overthrow of nations, paying protesters to protest, to have violence. In other words, our tax dollars went to destabilize other nations that it was convenient for Obama to go after. So why isn't he arrested? How far is this investigation going to go before they sweep it under the rug? That's what I would like to know. Obama is a dirty scumbag, folks. Now, interestingly, the European Union actually knows what law and order is, or at least they claim. The European Union Parliament had a corruption scandal that was tied to Chinese government influence through their tech giant Huawei. 15 different ministers of parliament, that is like congressmen, are implicated. Arrests are being made. Well, I'm not a big fan of the European Union, but they know how to arrest crooked politicians. Hello, Pam Bondi, Attorney General. Hello, Kash Patel, director of the FBI. Where are our arrests in the United States of America for all of the corruption and theft and graft and loss and destruction and violation of law and a violation of our rights? Where is it? I want Trump to get loud. I'm tired of playing this cat and mouse bullshit game. I really am. I'm disgusted. I'm fed up with it. And I'm not going to play it for 4 years and go, well, there was a Q drop and we need to just hang on tight. I've been hanging on since, 1992. Anyways, folks, European Union, they're arresting scumbags. Not that the European Union is a great, honorable, and moral political body. But the United States government, it is a shithole, folks. My respect and lack of, I guess you could say my lack of trust in them is gone. It's absolutely gone. Department of Government Efficiency, very good. Pete Hegseth in the military as Secretary of Defense, great. The president has been doing a lot of amazing things. But where is law enforcement? Where is prosecutions? Where are the arrests? Where is the restoration of our republic so that we can see it happening? Tired of this sneaky behind the scenes bullshit that never produces anything. And that's how I'm going to start this show off, folks. What do you want to talk about? Super chat button right up there. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal down below to get your questions on the screen. Now, to start the show out, I like to go to our favorites. And we've got both Chin Music and Darcy T, who always step up to start the show off big time. And Darcy T has done a $50 PayPal super chat donation, which, of course, results in a 15-year scotch. A $50 more super chat buys me a scotch, gets the old thoughts flowing pretty good and the blood rushing. Here's to you, Darcy T. It'll take your breath away right there. Mother's milk. Okay, thank you, Glenn Levitt. So Darcy says, here's my question for tonight's zoo. And it seems like a very small question. She says, what do you suppose the real reason is for Trump's Golden Dome initiative to build an Iron Dome for the United States of America? Is it to keep our enemies out or us in? Well, I'm going to address her second question first, and then we're going to expand on the idea. Is it to keep our enemies out? Well, the Iron Dome, or in our case, the Golden Dome, is supposed to keep the enemy's missiles out. As far as keeping us in, that's a whole nother subject. Keeping us in. So in Israel, they have their air defense system is called the Iron Dome. It consists of radar, laser tracking, missiles. It's a missile defense system. Trump wants a Golden Dome because Trump is Trump and he likes gold, right? So let's start with the idea of having a dome system. I think it is needed and necessary in this world and at this time. I think it needs to consist of missiles, hypersonic missiles, as well as lasers and laser defense. The reason being, and it included in lasers might be a microwave defense and a couple other things that particularly unique to flying aircraft. Now, we have airplanes, jets, helicopters to worry about being flown into the country. And we also have missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and missiles that can be dropped or shall we say, turn loose on us from aircraft, and as well as submarines. So I think we need all manner of technology. Now, back in the 1980s, folks, and that was 40 years ago, Reagan started talking about Star Wars defense, which encompassed all of these technologies. Right? So a defense system, yes. We also have to worry about drones now. And we've heard about and seen drone armies or drone squadrons and fleets that have been used to attack equipment as well as individual personnel. And the drones can be large and they can also be small, just like the ones you and I have. And they also have tiny ones. And the munition it carries is just big enough and powerful enough to crack you in the skull and kill you. Right? So no matter what we're hit with, I think it's important. No matter which enemy comes after us, whether it's the Houthis or Iran or North Korea or Russia and China, it doesn't matter what level of technology, they need to be stopped. Now, with respect to the idea of calling it the Golden Dome, why gold? Well, gold indicates the best. That's what it indicates. Trump likes gold. Okay, it's always been part of his lexicon. So a golden dome, how does that protect us? Is it better than the Iron Dome? Well, you would hope it would be, right? But Golden Dome. I think Trump is thinking along multiple lines. Or at least I hope he is, right? So Iron Dome for weapons defense. Golden Dome sounds a little bit more like a currency, economic, financial defense system. I would think that that's what he's supposed to be building. Now, with respect to keeping us in, that's a whole nother question. When Darcy says, is this Golden Dome to keep our enemies out or us in? Well, it's to keep our enemies and their weapons out, but could it be used to keep us in? Well, that's really an interesting idea. We're having more fires around our country and around the planet. We're having issues with foreign people being sent into countries they don't belong in. Foreign in law, in culture, in thought, in morality, in religion, everything. Right? I think it's more important to keep people out. But if the government wanted to keep us in, are they trying for these 15-minute cities? Is that what they're up to? 15-minute cities, meaning everything that you ever needed, wanted, that you think you need or want, is always within 15 minutes of where you live. Your work, your entertainment, and you're not allowed outside of that unless you obtain special permission from the government, right? So in this case, Darcy, I don't think the Golden Dome initiative is so much about keeping us in as it is the concept and idea that Trump wants a missile defense system, an American defense system that covers more than just missiles. But this idea of 15-minute cities locking people down so they can't travel, taking away freedoms and liberties, I think that goes beyond Trump. And that's more of a World Economic Forum, United Nations, World Socialist, and World Democrat idea. That I think they're willing to wait out and battle and duke it out with Trump. And after Trump is gone, they'll try all of their shit once again, which is why I am in a big, big hurry for the arrests. A big hurry for the arrests. I want the problems fixed. Literally fixed. I tell you. Okay. But that's the Golden Dome. We've got a lot going on. There's a lot going on, no doubt. I would just be happier. If we had arrests, but we're not getting that. All right. Thank you very much, Darcy T. And we've kicked the show off. right out the gate. Interesting stuff going on, folks. And we also have Chin Music with a $52.43 super chat donation. So I don't know. Has he got a question for us? I sure hope so. Chin Music's here every week and basically every day of the week as well, just like so many of you are. So there's the scotch from him, and it'll be waiting. Waiting for Chin Music's question. We got Uman behind the scenes as the moderator, making sure everybody behaves, and then making sure super chats find their way right up here. We're at 225 people live. I think we can get to 400 live. No problem in the 2 hours we're going to be here. And every Sunday night, we do this for 2 hours, sometimes more. And anybody and everybody who does a super chat donation gets their questions put on the screen and we answer them. Because I think that's really important. Right? All the topics out there, 2 hours, we basically cover it. All right. Do we have anything? I'm looking at you, Mr. Uman. Do we have anything from Chin Music? Oh, not yet. Hey, Chin. Get on board, buddy. We got work to do. Work to do here. Okay. Let's see. There we go. This really got my attention. This one really got my attention. Ireland, folks. Ireland is another country that's falling to the globalist plan to destroy our countries, our cultures, our civilization, and even white people are under direct attack. Now, in Ireland, right, an influence there has been bullied. So somebody who's popular on social media is being bullied by the woke mob because this guy talked about Ireland's immigration program or problem, if you want to talk about that. He's being attacked for it. That's something I think we should fight against here. Right? The woke coming after us, look what they're doing. And someone may want to talk about this a little more specifically, like they're doing with Tesla. They don't like the fact that Elon Musk is looking into them or looking into Democrats, the corruption. So they want to attack, the messenger. And that's what I guess an influencer does. They bring messages to the people who want to hear it. Nobody has to listen, right? So this Irish influencer is being bullied around. So here are the two things that happen. If you speak up, you will be criticized, you will suffer, you'll be bullied, you'll be attacked. But if you and I do not speak up, we will be murdered. And that's what's going on in Europe. If you don't speak up, you're going to be murdered. If you do speak up, you're going to have to fight. Do you see the problem here? Right? We in America have the First Amendment, and it is needed so we can speak freely. And it's just as much needed as the Second Amendment, which is our right to self-defense, self-preservation, and to preserve our country. Guns. We need to use it or lose it. Ireland is in big trouble. Conor, UFC Conor McGregor, that guy. He's decided he's going to speak up about the immigration problem and the destruction of Ireland, the Irish people, their culture, their laws, and now they're threatening him with arrest. This is not going to get better, folks. It's not going to get better fast or at all unless you and I really start speaking up. All right, let's roll over to Chin Music and see what he's up to. Oh, of course, $52.43 super chat donation. Thank you, Chin Music, for supporting the channel and free speech and the Second Amendment and being American and loud and in the face of our enemies. Here's to you, man. Semper Fi. Oh, man, that was a good one, particularly there. All right. He says, here's Chin. He says, can we develop a super secret plan to get Hillary pissed off at John Roberts, then sit back and wait? Well, that's an idea I hadn't thought of. Everyone knows that old Hillary, she seems to have a lot of friends and business acquaintances disappear, commit suicide, die. In fact, over the weekend, President Trump removed her security clearance. What I do not understand is why she's allowed to keep it. Why Susan Rice is allowed to keep it. Why Barack Obama was allowed to keep. Why are these people who are no longer in power, in authority, in Washington, whether they were appointed or elected, why are they keeping their security clearance, which allows them access to see what's going on? So one of the big jokes, Chin, was Hillary Clinton has had her secret clearance removed. It's going to be harder for her to snoop around and see who's investigating her so she can have them fucking waxed, Arkancided, if you will. And I think that's the joke we've got here, and it is a joke, albeit in fine chin music taste, right? Other people call it poor taste. I think it's great taste, right? What can we say? What rumor can be started about Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, John Roberts, that would implicate him or tie him to an investigation with Hillary Clinton's name? So she would have to look into having him taken care of, if you know what I mean. A little sit down and discussion. You'll back off, mister, or you just might have a fishing accident. Or like Obama's chef, a paddleboarding accident. But someone else this weekend, Mr. Chin, had an accident. It was a U.S. attorney, and she was appointed by the Biden administration, not the Trump administration, the Biden administration. But allegedly, it's been stated, she was investigating intelligence, as in CIA, FBI, intelligence sources who were leaking information, selling information, providing information to allies and enemies without permission. Now, that's rather strange, isn't it? Because just last week, we had an FBI agent who was actually arrested for selling top secret, classified, national security issues, right? Secrets to our enemies. And now, yeah, we have this this attorney, this lady. Sounds like she was actually doing her frickin' job. She died. She was found dead. No cause of death has been revealed. Nope. No cause of death revealed. I wonder if she was looking into Hillary, right? Because of Hillary's connections to other countries. Hillary's connections to, well, dirty, underhanded, low-life scum around the world, just like Barack Obama has got connections and was doing dirty deeds. I think that the United States government has been revealed now through many different means and techniques. Doge, leaked press reports, suspicious deaths, arrests, convictions, political revenge. It's looking to me like the United States government is the dirtiest government on the planet. And it pains me to say that. Like, we know the European government is dirty, but hey, I just talked about how they had some bad eggs in their EU parliament and they had them arrested. It's unbelievable. The British government, I'm going to have to say, is equally as disgusting and filthy as the American government in D.C., except they don't have as much power. But they are allowing their country to be invaded. And if you criticize it, like Conor McGregor, you get to go to jail. And if you're a girl, you're going to be raped and no one's going to give a shit. And if you're another type of kid that gets stabbed by them, by these immigrants, stabbed to death, killed, murdered, Well, they'll just blame you, and then they'll make a show on television. Get this, what they're doing in England, and make white boys the murderers. Because, you know, white British boys are known to stab people to death all the time. No, it's the other way around. It's these people from other countries, not the British, not the Irish, not the Scots. It's not that kind of world anymore. But yeah, I'm thinking that a lot of people are going to end up getting Arkancided, Mr. Chin Music. And at this point, hell, it could be Hillary, could be Bill. Now that Barack and Michelle Obama, they've lost one chef in a strange and mysterious death. I wonder how many more people are going to just disappear. I think we're moving to a really dangerous and strange place in American and world history with political intrigue that I think the average American, average Canadian, average Australian, average anybody would have no idea is coming. Right? The murder, just the intrigue, all of it, I think is very possible, and I think it's in play. It's absolutely in play right now. I think if anyone has a super secret plan that's already been set in motion, Chin, it would be the deep state, and it would also be the people on the other side. We need to see arrests so that we know Trump is squarely, firmly, 1,000% against the World Economic Forum, to take away all doubt in the minds of anybody, right? Because the left, the political left, meaning the politicians, as well as the street morons out there, they hate Trump and believe him to be the devil, right? Their enemy. But there are people on the Republican side that say, hey, we need to see arrests. The Make America Great people say, we need people arrested. We all want that. We need to see it. Anyways, as a side note, or in conclusion to answering your question, Mr. Chen, I don't think that there would be any objections from me about the development of a super duper secret plan to link John Roberts, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, to Hillary Clinton and the investigations that are ongoing about her. And when I say that, there's a reason I would say that people are looking into her. And I guess I can go there right away. Well, Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, well, he said he's going to release the Benghazi papers, the paperwork, the information on it. I want that to happen. I really do. I want that to happen big time. Big time. That would make my day. Anyways, Jen, thank you very much. We have a great show in front of us, folks. A lot of amazing topics. Hit that super chat button up there. Get your question on the screen, right? Your contributions, your donations, your super chat cash, that goes to paying for, let's see, tuna fish, spam, scotch, as well as keeping the lights on, our membership services to different news organizations, our servers, and everything it is that we do here. And I really, really appreciate your support in making this happen. So I only have to have 2 jobs. So welcome everyone on X, Facebook, thepreparedmind.club, YouTube, and subscribestar.com. Mr. Uman, let's have a little bit of fun. Who do we want to put up on the board here? Let's draw one out of our hat. And here we go. It is Redneck Roughneck. He joins us every day, Monday through Friday as well, folks. And tonight he says, just like they keep saying we have a democracy, and they start saying that about the same time as they quit saying the pledge in schools. Oh, this is an interesting topic. There used to be a time when they'd said the Pledge of Allegiance in schools. They also used to have prayer in schools. Well, that got removed. And when I grew up, we said the Pledge of Allegiance in schools. But interesting, yeah. democracy. They love to describe our country as a democracy. But in the Pledge of Allegiance, it says, "And to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all." Right? Yeah, we have a republic. Well, they've removed in schools the Pledge of Allegiance to our own country. And they put up homosexual, transgender, rainbow fruitcake flags. They put up communist flags from Russia, from China. Russia's no longer communist, but they still love the flag, folks. They still love the flag. They have everything in classrooms except God and love for country. So if your kids have a school that have those things in it, you're very fortunate. Very fortunate indeed. They hate this country, folks. The left, Democrats. And you and I, well, I grew up knowing that my teachers were Democrats. I had no doubts. I fully understood. They attacked the Constitution whenever they could. And we, the students, would stand up to them and debate them or argue or counter their sayings and thoughts. And it was really fascinating that they've been doing this at least since the 1980s when I started paying attention. Anyways, folks, this country is under attack from every direction. Every direction. Including, well, the entertainment media, like NBC. They've got a show. It's been around for, I think, decades. Law and Order. Isn't that funny that NBC has a show called Law and Order when the country, Washington, D.C., has no law and no order? Their idea of law and order is what? Some sort of social fucking justice. It's disgusting. It truly is disgusting. But they, in this, I guess they've got an episode of Law and Order that is portraying this guy, and you'll remember the name as soon as I say it, Luigi Mangione, right? They've got that character. Well, the character they have is inspired by Luigi Mangione, who killed the CEO of a healthcare company. And they've made him, inside the show, a folk hero. Folk hero. Wake up, America. Preppers, I know you're awake. Members of the Prepared Mind community, the Prepared Mind Network, I know you're awake. And get prepped 100%. What now? Right? Schools. In schools, what do? They make America out to be a bad thing. And in entertainment, television, they make murderers into the good guys. Just like they made George Floyd, a multiple felon, absolute scumbag, drug addict, and worse, made him a hero. Now they're making a guy who made a political statement, Luigi Mangione, they're making him into a hero to emulate. This is what communists do, folks. They take a subversive idea and they glamorize it and try and make it, well, acceptable, palatable, admirable, and duplicable. Meaning they would love for everyone to become Luigi Mangione so that they could have the law and order that the Democrats want, which is the destruction of our nation. The media is now creating heroes out of the bad guys. And the media is turning good guys into bad. Do you understand how we're going to have partisan conflict, if not outright civil war, if we don't start having some fucking arrests in Washington, D.C.? We start having some real law and order, some real truth and justice. We don't have time, folks. We don't have time. We don't have 5 years, 6 years, 10 years to play these games. It ain't that kind of a movie anymore. Anyways, thank you, Redneck Roughneck, very much. Mr. Uman, who wants to step up next? What have we got out there? And Uman says, News Radio was crying about how some of the illegals, meaning illegal alien invaders, that were deported, quote, didn't have criminal records in the United States, just the countries they came from. They're, obviously they're totally reformed. They're criminals and gangbangers. Yeah. Yeah, but once they got to America, they became the good guys. We just crossed 300 people live, folks. Share the internet address, hit the share button below, give it a thumbs up, be a subscriber, be a follower, share, repost, everything you can to get more people to wake the hell up. There's going to be a lot of people that are partially woken up. They've seen a little bit, but they don't want to. If shit starts going down, we want them to wake up and understand they're on our side. Not look around for the first idiot to tell them what to believe. Wake people up. Yeah, these criminals came to America to get free stuff. What did they do? They complained about food. They complained about the weather. They complained about Americans. They complained about white people. There's too many white people in America. Same with England. Same with Ireland. They're complaining there's too many white people. Unfucking believable. On the planet, the total population that's white is 7%. If a country has a basically white population, of course, there's going to be a lot of white people. If they don't like it, if anyone doesn't like having a white population, move to where there's more brown people. Move to where there's no white people. Unbelievable. Anyways, yeah, these people come here and they've got no problem. These gangbangers, these illegals, they're being deported because they are criminals. They became criminals and a problem for the American criminal and justice system because they came here illegally. Even if President Biden flew them in on an airplane, they're still here illegally. And isn't it amazing that these fucked up, traitorous, treasonous, scumbag, hypocritical, lying, moronic Democrat judges are saying Trump cannot send these illegals out? But apparently, they weren't around to say anything about all the illegals being flown in, bussed in, shipped in, boated in illegally. It almost seems like they're co-conspirators in the attempt to destroy this country with an invasion of non-Americans. Same with Canada. Now, countries like Mexico, folks, they don't like these illegals from other countries either. They don't like them in their country. Did you know that? And if there's, you want to talk about a country that's full of racists? Mexico. Mexicans do not like some very specific races. Crazy business, folks. I mean, people feel more comfortable being around people that look like them. I get it. It makes sense to me. In any event, yeah, we've got some issues. We've got issues with our media. They're going to continue to lie to us and make us feel like we're the bad guys for working hard, for going to your job, paying your taxes, building nice cities, states, highways, bridges, building businesses, working hard. They don't like that. All right, Mr. Uman, let's have some fun. Do we have some super chats out there to look at? You guys are in charge. It's that your super chat button up there will get you on the screen guaranteed. Right now we got Yankee Watchdog. He says, my poor family in Ireland have that warthog Rosie as a guest now. And what he's talking about is Rosie O'Donnell. I guess she's Irish. Rosie O'Donnell, Irish. Shouldn't she stay in Ireland? Well, guess what? The government of Ireland doesn't want her. I wonder why not. Her name's Rosie O'Donnell. Shouldn't she be welcome there? Well, they've said no. They've given her 30 days. That's it. Her travel visa is over. Her visitation is over. Rosie O'Donnell is going to be sent back to America. She's not going to be allowed to stay there. Isn't that fascinating? Absolutely fascinating. You would think that they would allow it, but, Rosie's being treated like she's an illegal. Well, because after 30 days, she would be. I find it fascinating, folks. But Warthog Rosie, what an appropriate name for her. Warthog Rosie. I'm sure, though, with most Irish, they would probably be more pleased with Rosie, not realizing what an absolute pariah she is. But at least she's not wearing a keffiyeh or swinging and waving a Palestinian flag around. And speaking of that, thank you, Yankee Watchdog. In the state of New Jersey, there's a city, and I can't remember the name, but the police there are wearing a patch on their uniforms. They're police uniforms, right? We've seen them. You get the patch on the arm, patch on the chest. The policemen are wearing Palestinian flags, little square Palestinian flag patches on their uniforms. What the fuck is going on? They're not backing down, folks. They're not going away. This is the United States of America. We've got a city in Texas that is trying to establish itself, incorporate, if you will, under Sharia law. It is going to be a Muslim-only city. Quite fascinating, folks. First, they come and claim minority status. They're nice. They're friendly. Don't hurt us. We're peace lovers. Then their population increases. Their control of wealth increases. They start to object to the people they're around. They complain about us being Americans. They complain about the food we eat. They complain about our culture, our law. They want their own law. And then you have moronic Democrats supporting him. Right? You have homosexuals, everyone from the LGBT community supporting the Palestinian and Muslim movement. The Islamification of America is beginning, folks. It's already begun, and it's in full swing in Ireland, England, Denmark, the Netherlands, Germany, France, Spain, Italy. They're trying it here now, folks. They're up in Canada trying it. But they're doing it in America. Apparently, and maybe Chin Music can speak to this, in Texas, Governor Abbott and some of the legislature are trying to outlaw Sharia law, saying it is no law. It is not consistent nor compatible with our culture, our traditions, our state, and our national constitutions. We're going to have trouble, folks. It could start as soon as tomorrow. It could start April 2nd. It could start June 21st. It could start next Christmas. But it's going to start, and it's going to get worse. Police running around with Palestinian patches on. What do you think's going on in England and in Scotland and Ireland? You say anything about these fruitcakes. You say anything about the illegals or the Islamic migrants, and you will be arrested. In England, get this, if you make a post on the internet that makes someone else feel uncomfortable and they complain, you will be arrested for making someone feel uncomfortable. Well, how about the fact that 250,000 girls have been raped in England? Raped by these Islamic hordes of scum. Doesn't that make people feel uncomfortable? Why are they allowed to do it? Because they're trying to Islamify and destroy England. Now, I figured this out a long time ago, folks, because I studied what goes on in countries that have a royal class. You could say United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. The uber elite, the sheikhs, right? The elite, the princes, all of these elite bastards. Well, they can have as many slaves as they want, as sex slaves as they want, wives as they want. They can do whatever the fuck they want and go wherever they want. But the little people under them, they are controlled with an iron fist of their Sharia law that pounds them into the fucking sand, into the ground like a railroad spike. They're controlled, but the rich can do whatever the fuck they want. What makes you think that in England, in Ireland, and in Europe, and in Washington, D.C., and in Quebec, the elites there think, yeah, we can have a system just like that. Fuck our current system. We're in charge. We should be above the law, and we're going to give our people destruction so that truly we're superior. Just like the aristocrats of old, folks, in Europe. They believed they were, well, aristocratic, royal, descendant, demigods even. Literally, they believe they're demigods, folks, and therefore superior to everyone else. We're going to have a hell of a fight. Remember, the people of the United States of America have close to 1 billion guns. That's not counting the military that would surely come over to our side. That's just civilian guns. And I'm sure 95% or more of those guns are owned by conservative, patriotic Americans, not left-wing fruitcakes. While some of them may have guns, they don't know how to shoot them unless they shoot themselves in the dick first. All right. All righty. This is your show, folks. It's Sunday Night Live. Super chat button right up there. We'll get your question on the screen. But I want to talk about chin music. Well, he's already popped up. Let's get him up there. Chin Music with a $9.99 super chat donation. Thank you again, Mr. Chin. He says, hey, when I Rosie O'Donut the other day, I thought Jim Acosta had really let himself go and transitioned into a fat potato mashing Irish hag. When I saw Rosie O'Donnell the other day, she doesn't look well. She looks rather masculine. She looks like one of those really kind of Butch Dyke types. But she's very unattractive. But see, you can always look past people's appearance if they're good people. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at someone and I can see on their face whether they're a good person or not. But you can always tell when someone's a bad person looking at them. They're nasty. They sneer. Ugh. And Rosie O'Donut is one of them. Jim Acosta is another one. But, you know, I think we're past the point where you and I get to make a difference. It's now going to, I think, turn into something quite unique. What I mean by that is the leftists on the street, they're going to be rabble-rousers. They're going to be like brown shirts, Hitler Youth. They're going to be like communist Bolsheviks. They're going to be part of the color revolution. But it's going to be the media, entertainment, and even the police who try and convince you and I to just give up our Constitution, give up our rights, our free speech, our guns. They're going to convince us to just give up. There's going to come a tipping point, kind of like Lexington and Concord, if you know your American history, where some people are going to say, you know what, we've had enough of this shit. It's just not going to happen anymore. Trump moved the Declaration of Independence into the White House. I think that there's a reason for that, Chin. Some people might say, well, it's because we're going to have our 250th anniversary on this next July 4th. That may be so. But I believe that's for a reason. It's to help remind himself and the people of the United States what the hell is going on. Rosie O'Donut. That's pretty good. Oh, yes, I tell you. What a world. What a world. Nothing but fun. Okay. Here we go. Mr. Uman, what do we want to step on next? What topic? Whose toes? And we're at 340 people live. And it's Global Impact checking in. It says, our true rulers would rather end us all than to let us win. Now, that is an attitude. That's a comment. It's a thought. It's a line of thinking. That if you dig deep enough, you find out that it's true. And we've discussed it before. The people we think, well, govern us is our state governments govern. Our federal government is supposed to be elected and appointed by us, the people. They're not supposed to rule over us. But something got let out of the bag, Mr. Global Impact, back in the 90s. Hillary Clinton, as First Lady, wife of Bill Clinton, Slick Willie Clinton, they got mad. They became perturbed because back in the 90s, they kept trying to push through our rights and ignore the Constitution. They were blind in their adherence to the belief that they could do it. And she got mad and said, how are we supposed to rule over this country with all of these people opposing us? Exactly. They believe the Clintons, the Bidens, the Obamas, and they're not Irish Obamas. These people think they are superior to us and they're our rulers. The true rulers that Global Impact is speaking of, I believe, is the World Economic Forum, the banking families and banking cartels, the financiers on Wall Street in the City of London, in the Vatican. These people would rather end us all, meaning kill us, than let us win. And we've described that. We've described that as going scorched earth, and I've talked about that for years and years with you guys. Rather than lose and let Trump take over, they will pull every dirty trick they can. They'll pull every dirty trick. They'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll steal, they'll burn it down, folks. They have their agents. They have infiltrated, and when I say they, I mean the true rulers have infiltrated government, the bureaucracy, the court systems, media, finance, banking, science, military. I can't remember if I said military or not. They will burn it all down, literally. They would rather destroy civilization than let us win and be free. You see, about 250 years ago, we had a little experiment. It was called freedom. It was started in the colonial Americas. These bunch of rabble-rousing philosophers that left England, left Germany, left Ireland, left Scotland, left Sweden, left Europe, came to them and decided they liked being free. They ended up having a revolution over it. Then shortly thereafter, there was a French Revolution. And they took all the aristocrats, the king, the queen, everyone they could, and they cut their fucking heads off. And they said, we want to rule ourselves. We want to govern ourselves. We want to determine our own fates and our own destinies. And so there were different types of, you could call them experiments that were done with governments to see which ones produced the most, had the most, happy, satisfied populations, the lowest crimes, made the most wealth. And so for the last 250 years, we've had this, I'm going to call it again, an experiment. And they're done with the experiment. They now know which political systems work the best, which financial and monetary systems work the best. They know. So they can bring down our financial and monetary system in a heartbeat if they choose. They know that freedom just promotes more freedom and liberty. So they've been slowly chiseling away at our rights for years as they've taken over government institutions of control, taken over the court systems and ruled against us and ruled against us and ruled in favor of themselves and ruled in favor of governments. And if we get too loud, they might let us just fall. Maybe I can ask you a question. Would you rather be free and live uncomfortably, or would you rather be, subservient and have some creature comforts? In other words, would you rather be an uncomfortable free or a rather comfortable slave living on the plantation? That's what they're offering us, is to own nothing and be happy. Remember that. That comes from Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum. They want to bring everyone under subjugation. No property rights. Hell, no property at all, personal or real estate. No ability to travel without permission. You go to work, you go home. This is this 15-minute city thing again. You don't have rights. You don't really get to vote. Your vote doesn't even count. But if we demand freedom and liberty and we start pushing for it, they may just bring the whole system down on our heads, make the Great Depression look like child's play. Give us SHTF, if not Mad Max, everywhere. But the funny thing is they think they can live without us. Can they? They don't need food? Who's going to clean their houses? Who's going to fix their vehicles? Who's going to make them money and wealth? Right? Well, they need some of us to live then, don't they? But they would love to get rid of, I don't know, 90% of the population. Well, that's right there in their plans, folks. Kill off 90% of the planet. Leave just enough population to serve them and obey them. They would rather end us all, or at least 90% of us, global impact, than to let us win. And I think this has happened before. And I'm now going to bring it up right now. Here we go. Are you ready for this? Over in Egypt, archaeologists, scientists, they have claimed that they have found a, quote, vast underground city that is underneath Egypt's Giza Plateau, the pyramids, all the temples there, the Sphinx. They told us that they found vertical shafts going down hundreds of meters, and a meter is 3 feet. So hundreds and hundreds of feet down into the ground. Thank you, Uman. They've really, folks, let the cat out of the bag with this. There is evidence around the world of great technology that's pre-existed our civilization, right? We need more information about this vast underground city. It's going to change the public's understanding of who we are. And our world history is not limited to 6,000 years of the biblical history. That is just one people's version of the history. We have Göbekli Tepe, which is a 12,000-year-old city that was buried under dirt or maybe mud. The evidence is coming out that they've lied to us about who we are, where we have been, what technologies existed. In India, they have historical scrolls that go back thousands and thousands of years that record and talk about hundreds of thousands of years of human civilization. Having Vimana, or flying ships and flying cities. That's how big they were. Technology, folks, that is just astounding, even by today's standards, is part of the myths and folklore around the world. But it all got wiped away. It all disappeared. Could it be these people don't want us to be free and have that technology for ourselves so that we can have freedom and liberty and live decent lives without wars constantly, without religious monsters murdering people? To live in peace. What a great fucking idea. Not destroying everything. It takes money to create things, and then you blow it up in a war. You just lost all of that human labor and effort and wealth. These people are willing to do that to kill populations off. And I think the world is going to find out. It truly is. It truly is. Okay, here it is. Darcy T just got a hold of me, and she brought something up. We're at the 1 hour mark with 370 people live. We're making great progress. I want to hit 400 and keep going up. Share this video, repost it, thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. On the YouTube channel, you've got to be subscribed for 5 minutes before you can get in the comments. Uh-oh. You're fucking kidding me. I tell you, let's hear it for technology. Man, can you hear me okay? All right, looks like we're good. All right. So Darcy T joined in, and let's get more people here live, folks. Live, share. Darcy T says, "Do you think having a Palestinian flag on the New Jersey police uniforms was bad? Check out this video. Paterson, New Jersey is now the Muslim capital of New Jersey." Oh, it is. Paterson is going to mark the beginning of Ramadan with halal lighting ceremony. So Paterson, New Jersey is the Muslim capital of New Jersey. That shit needs to be have an input to it. Thank you, Darcy T, for that one. Wow. Okay, Mr. Uman, let's do some more super chat questions out of the comments, and it's Boomer with a $20 super chat donation. And he says, "It'll take a lot longer than 4 years to deport 20 million plus illegals. Rounding them up is a lot tougher than letting them in." Oh, you're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. I was hoping to see more self-deportation. But these people came in, folks. They came in 4 million to 5 million a year. That's thousands and thousands and thousands a day. So when we see immigrations and customs enforcement going into a business and rounding up a dozen or 24 people, that ain't shit. You know what needs to happen? They need to have their money taken from them. Period. No more handouts, no more credit cards, no more phones, no more clothes, no more rent. These people need to be rounded up and launched out of this country. It can't happen fast enough. Good God, folks. I hear you, Boomer. It's going to take a lot longer than 4 years. We had, before Joe Biden, we had an immigration or an illegal immigration problem. We always have, because of the southern border. We always have, but now it was turned up. Joe Biden and the Democrats, Kamala Harris, Alexandro Mayorkas, the Catholic Church. Half the Catholic Church is conservative. The other half is liberal. The Catholic Church got USAID money as well as other non-government organizations. They got your tax money. They sent it out of the country, and they printed pamphlets. They went out and talked to people. They recruited people to bring here and said, "Come to America. We'll give you money. We'll give you houses. We'll give you clothes. We'll give you phones. You don't even have to work." And they recruited people to come up here. They flew them up here. They put them on trains. A lot of them did have to walk through Mexico or catch buses and trains and semis through, but they got to America and just walked right across the border. There's people from South America, North Africa, the Middle East, the Far East. They all need to be out. They all need to be gone. We're going to have nothing but trouble, folks. It doesn't end well when this sort of thing happens. Canada's got the same fucking problem. Australia is now letting in these Islamists. They're not good for anybody. If they're so good, why is every one of their countries third world shitholes where the people are poor? They throw acid in the faces of women. They stone men to death. It's nothing but trouble. Period. Thank you, Boomer, very much. Great super chat donation. That keeps the lights on, keeps everything rolling here on the Prepared Mind channel. Okay, we got Uman in the background. He is moderating. He's looking at everything. He's saying, hey, this is happening. I'm telling you, folks, it's all happening. Shit has hit the fan. Are you prepared? Do you have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine? Do you have your self-defense? Do you have a plan? And a lot of people, they've got these Islamic bullshit communities in their area. Do you know where you're at? the 10-mile radius around you and who's in it. Because if things get nasty, that's who you need to worry about. All right, Mr. Uman, what do we got rolling? Who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? We've got Bioxo 77. He says the media is insane with the propaganda and they're dumping gasoline on the fire. Yes, they are. They really are, folks. They hate America. They truly do. These Democrats, these media persons, Hollywood hates America. In fact, Snow White came out this weekend, played by a little girl who is not Snow White. And she hates America. She hates Christians. She hates, everything good about us. And the movie flopped. Because not only is she a little bitch, but they rewrote the story and made it woke garbage. Woke garbage. It's time to fix our country. And we've got, right now, standing in the way, thank you, Bioxo, we've got judges, very bad judges, that are doing everything they can to interfere with Trump fixing the problems. Like saying, no more men in girls' sports. Get the men out of the women's bathrooms, locker rooms, and women's scholarships. He said, get the fruitcakes out of the military. Send these illegals home. Get them out of the country. And we've got bad judges everywhere. Interfering. Well, get this. Governor DeSantis in Florida, my governor, has a solution for these bad judges. And here's a quote from him. He says, the root of the problem is Congress's fecklessness. Let me translate that real quick. They're impotent. They're weak. They're cowards. They're chicken shits. Right? Our governor here, Ron DeSantis, demands that Congress strip the broad authority from these federal judges who are getting in the way of law and order and Trump fixing the country. Now, I call the congressional weaklings bitches and cowards. He called them feckless. Okay? When Thomas Jefferson became president, they had some problems in this country with judges. They eliminated the judges that they had problems with. They didn't even bother putting up with their shit. Here's what a little more of the quotes. Are we ruled by the consent of the governed under elections and under a written constitution? This is DeSantis. Or are we ruled by a district judge in D.C., Hawaii, or wherever the hell they can shop for a judge to find somebody, and then that trumps everything that is in the Constitution in terms of executive powers? Because that's what they'll keep doing if you let that happen. We need to throw these fucking judges out. That's what they've done in the past. There is precedent. It doesn't have to be an impeachment that comes from Congress. They can just throw them out. They can take their powers away from them. They shouldn't have any authority to review Article 2 presidential powers. They didn't bother with them before. They just threw them out, folks. If they do not take Governor DeSantis's recommendation, which is the recommendation of Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and other founding fathers, if they don't tell right away, judges, you're not in charge of the country, and just throw them out of office as an example to other judges. The Constitution is very clear. It's written in plain English. No problem. If they can't get rid of them, we're going to be overrun, folks. From the federal to the state, down to our local judges telling us how to live our fucking lives. Do you want some man in a dress, a black dress, who has a little wooden hammer telling you what to do? I don't think so. I certainly am not going to live that way. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my fucking knees with these people. But that's just how I feel about it. It really is how I feel about it. I mean, if you want to get right down to it, it's about evil. It's about evil. And evil being allowed to grow in this country. Did you know that there's an organization out there, a group of people called the Satanic Grotto? Yeah, Satanic Grotto. They want to hold a black mass ritual at the Kansas state capitol. Now, you might think, well, they'll do that in California or Illinois, New York. That's where they would like to do those sorts of things, because those are really left-wing, crazy-ass states that would allow Satanists to hold black mass in the Capitol. No, this is Kansas, folks. Fucking Kansas. And they're planning on doing this days before Easter. Okay, clearly, as far as I'm concerned, these people are mentally disturbed. These Satanists have immense psychological issues. They're demented, they're evil. And they want to have a black mass in the Capitol. These people should be locked up, if not killed outright. And I can justify that, folks. This is what they do. Whether we're talking about this group that call themselves the Satanic Grotto, or whether we're talking about, I don't know, the Church of Satan, the Synagogue of Satan, it doesn't matter, right? They have psychological issues and they need to be killed outright. They work to degenerate, right? You've heard the term degenerate, right? They want humanity to be degenerate. These people are sexually perverted. They're morally evil. Now, they want to have a black mass. The sacrament to them that they talk about all the time is abortion, the killing of innocents and youth. A sacrament to them is ritual murder. A sacrament to them is also cannibalism. But somehow they're protected now by judges, right? They should not be more protected, right? They shouldn't be more protected than children or the law or any of us, right? These Satanists are actually get more protection than terrorists. And here we are in 2025, allowing the most evil to live amongst us, organize themselves, and harm others. Tell me, in England, allowing 250,000 girls to be raped isn't evil. Tell me how these people taking our money and paying Planned Parenthood, paying their doctors, paying for the operations, the procedures, the abortions, to kill children, and then sell their organs for money. The whole thing is evil and disgusting beyond belief. What do you guys think? What's on your mind? I mean, shit has hit the fan. It's Sunday Night Live. What's on your mind? We got this week coming up. We got this huge week, folks. The FBI is absolutely warning us to, quote, exercise vigilance when visiting Tesla dealerships. Number one, who visits a Tesla dealership? I don't visit them. If I were buying a Tesla, I would be a customer. Make it sound like you go to Tesla, the fucking dealership, to hang out. I'm going to visit. That's all. Just here to visit. The FBI can catch January 6ers, even if they're masked. But they can't catch Democrats openly calling for and planning and conducting actual terrorism on Tesla dealerships. Fucking incredible. Judges are saying, get those illegals back in the country. The illegals here are forming fucking cities and wearing flags from other countries. Satanists are openly calling for black masses. Oh, we've got troubles, folks. We're almost at 400 people live right now. We're at 385 on my ticker. Share the internet address. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the share button. Thumbs up everything, and let's get into it some more. Ooh, man, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? We've got bump, Big Dan the Man Erickson with a $5 super chat donation. And he said, Elon Musk has filed a defamation lawsuit against some media outlet for calling him a Nazi. I'll bet with his money and lawyers, they are in trouble. Yes, it is a mainstream news show. They had a guest on there, the guest/host. Decided he was going to call Elon Musk a Nazi, and Elon basically said, I've had enough of this shit, lawyer up. Where would we be? And I want to be completely and 100% frank with you. Where would the United States of America be without Elon Musk? We wouldn't have free speech on X. We'd have less free speech on Twitter, Facebook. We'd have less free speech on YouTube, Instagram. TikTok is a waste of fucking time. I got kicked off TikTok day one. Day one, they banned me for life. Right? Facebook, well, Jolene handles Facebook, so I don't have too much rotten shit on there. Right? They don't want to hear about freedom and liberty and getting rid of evil. Anyways, if it wasn't for Elon Musk, if it wasn't for Donald J. Trump, where would we be in this fucking country? We'd have another bullshit right-wing, so-called right-wing Republican who's actually a fucking rhino. We would have another Mitch McConnell. We'd have Eye Patch McCain running for president, or Mittens Romney. We'd have some fucking loser who pretends to be a Republican who's just willing to sell us out again. 100% to our faces, treat us like shit. Another fucking George W. Bush. Right? Some other spineless, weak bastard. That's what we'd have for president. Instead, now we have a push for decency, America, make America great again. What a fucking novel concept. It should have never stopped being great. Which tells you if you're not for make America great again, you're for destroying America. And that's exactly what these left-wing fuckers are doing. The media calling people Nazis, white supremacists. Even if you're black, you're a white supremacist. Even if you're black, you're a racist. Even if you're black, as long as you're a conservative that loves America, you're bad. They think of you and me as evil. Evil. What did we do? Not a fucking thing wrong. All we want is our liberties and our rights, but they'll call you evil.
There are public figures today, yesterday, and the day before predicting and all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets.
Obviously, Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore. Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore. Republicans are the biggest threat to democracy.
This means war. That is where we are. We are at war with these people. These folks are evil.
They are at war with us, folks, and they think of us as evil. While they want the destruction of our Constitution, our country, law and order, truth and justice, they want the destruction of our morality, our decency. They want to let Satanists run through the schools and the state capitals. They want these Muslims, these Islamists, to overrun our country and demand Sharia law. They want all of our money taken from us and given to, well, themselves. They want to launder it and then give it back to themselves. They want to live like rich elites. This is coming to a head, folks. The media is telling us this means war. It is war. Trump won because of you. And that's why I say you and I, we can continue to fight these fuckers. Dan is talking about Elon Musk filing a lawsuit against these people for calling him fucking Nazi. Hitler. Right? Hitler was a giant asshole. By the way, we crossed 400 people alive. Bam. Right? But where would we be without Elon Musk? Where would we be without Trump? We would have these fucking people on our doorsteps. This country would still be being invaded. Our countries, our communities, our neighborhoods will be overrun with people fleeing from other neighborhoods, but they'll bring the trash with them. Right? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to run to? You can't go anywhere now. They've got us trapped in our own fucking homes. Right? You can't even be on the street without these people coming after you and threatening you. Right? That's why I have my Make America Great Trump hat in the front windshield of the Prepared Mind tank, because they can fuck off. I'm not going to leave it here at home. When I go to work, I am proud to be who I am in an American. If anyone doesn't like it, they can fuck off. My bosses don't like it, they can fucking fire me. If I go into the store, they can kiss my ass. We've got to stand up and fight back, right? Elon Musk is fighting back. He spent, $44 billion to buy a stupid fucking computer program called Twitter. Why? Just so we can talk, just so we have some free speech. So, yeah, well, thank you, Dan Erickson. Your $5 super chat and all that you have done week after week after week, like everyone else, has kept this channel going and kept the message alive. And that's freedom and liberty. Freedom and liberty. Truth, justice, the American way. And evil needs to be destroyed, folks. You can't coexist with Satanists. You can't coexist with Islamists. You can't coexist with Democrats. You can't coexist with communists. You can't coexist with abortionists. We're going to have the war at some point. I invite them to leave. Go to another fucking country. Get the fuck out of here. It almost makes me want to go, okay, Elon Musk, you want to colonize Mars? I'll go, just to get the fuck away from this. And that's why people left Europe hundreds of years ago. They left England, they left Germany. They left Ireland, they left Scotland to come to America. The French left France. The Spaniards left Spain. The Portuguese left Portugal. Because they were sick and tired of their fucking governments, their kings, their rulers, trying to destroy them and kill them. They got over here and they got some liberty. You and I, folks, we don't have there's nowhere to run to. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to flee. Now we've got to stand and fight. Or you get on your knees and you start kissing their asses or whatever it is they put in your face. Okay, period. Now, the Democrats are so destructive and so evil. They are attacking themselves. And that is funny. That's interesting to watch. Right? Right now, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, we're 3.5 years away from the election. She thinks she's going to be the next presidential candidate. So the Democrats are attacking each other, thinking, well, we're not going to let her be the next Democrat nominee. They're infighting. They're fighting amongst themselves as they fight us. Right? Now, first off, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, horse face herself, the bitch who can eat an apple through a picket fence without getting splinters in her lips. That horse-faced bitch should be arrested for hiring an illegal, getting him a fake social security number, paying him a massive salary. Right? She should be arrested for that and a number of other things. Plus, she's just a rotten fucking human being. She's a liar. She should be arrested. Instead, she's being allowed to campaign for an election that's 3.5 years away. I mean, why isn't she being arrested? Pam Bondi? Is she even an American? Is it America first, make America great again? I thought that's what we were supposed to be about. In fact, I think you and I, folks, need to make America first an even bigger phrase than make America great again. Kash Patel, anyone? Make America first. Make America great. Enough of these fucking people. They'll destroy themselves, folks. Remember, evil knows no bounds, no limits. Same with ignorance and stupidity. And you want to talk about ignorance and stupid, you're talking about the Democrats and AOC. So how is it that someone so ignorant, so fucking stupid, these people, how can they bring down America? Unless it's intentional. And it is intentional, folks. Look at these judges. They fucking know the law. They know the Constitution. And they rule against it on a daily basis. They rule against it on a daily basis. These judges do. Well, the Speaker of the House, Maggot Mike Johnson, well, he has a plan to limit these activist judges and, quote, expose the worst offenders. Revealing them? He has a plan to reveal them? Thanks, Maggot, but no thanks. We already know who they are. We've already revealed the way to get rid of them. These people, they're the ones, they're signing the orders. Every one of them reveals themselves every time they oppose Trump. Right? They need to do something, folks, in Congress. Maggot Mike Johnson sits there with that little pious smirk on his face. He's a lousy fucking speaker. He's a lousy Speaker of the House. He's a lousy American. He should do something, anything that we demand, and he's not. He's a pile of shit. I am sorry, folks. I've just had it with these fucking people. We're at the 90-minute mark now, folks. We've been on this show 90 minutes. What is it that you want to talk about? What's on your mind? This is the Prepared Mind channel. This is Sunday Night Live. It's your chance to tell others. And folks, by the time this video goes out tonight and all night and into tomorrow and through the week, there will be thousands and thousands of people who will have watched it. Right now, we got 410 people live. But people come on and people go. And then they'll come back and then they'll go away. But by the time we're done, it'll be thousands of people. You can talk to thousands of people. You can tell them what you think they should know. Right up there. Super chat button. That does it, folks. Right? That gets you right up here on the board. Ooh, man, who wants to come on the show next? Who's up? And we got Dan the Man Erickson. Pow! With a $50 super chat donation. You know what that means? That means it's time for a Glenn Levitt 15. Thank you, Dan. I need this because I'm getting a little bit fucking pissed off. And I think that's where we're all at. Pissed off. So here is to you, brother, and to all Americans, veterans, sportsmen, patriots, constitutionalists. Semper Fi means always faithful. God bless. America. Dan says freedom and liberty are backed up over 150 million American gun owners, and knowing that we should make all of us patriots sleep well at night, and that is the fail-safe deterrent that other countries that hate us gives them nightmares when they sleep. Our freedom, our liberties are backed up by over, 150 million gun owners. And us gun owners have multiple guns. So yeah, there's 150 million gun owners in this country, but there's close to 1 billion guns in our hands. Rifles, shotguns, handguns, sidearms, whatever you want to call them. Assault rifles, which they're not assault rifles. Well, some people have them. And that does help me sleep well at night, Dan, knowing that you have multiple firearms and thousands of rounds of ammunition. I have just enough ammunition to protect myself from the bad guys. Just enough. Un poquito. Un petit amount of ammunition, right? But we all do. And that stops our enemies from invading us. It stops our enemies from attacking us. You, America, knowing your law and order, the Constitution, speaking up with your First Amendment rights, and letting people know, yeah, we have a Second Amendment. We will use it. That is what saved us, folks, from the British. The fact that we were here all alone, in a savage world, the early Americans, right? Savage world. We had guns for hunting, muskets, had cannon to protect ourselves from other nations. And they decided that's pretty important. And then we had our own nation. At that time, folks, everyone in America, at least the colonies, if you want to talk about them and not Canada, they were British subjects. British subjects, meaning subjected to the king. And the king decided they were going to take the colonists and subject them to unlawful behavior, abuse, tyranny, despotism. So Americans took their muskets, their rifles, their cannon, and they fought the fucking English. And if you ever read the history, I mean, we've all heard names. Look up Ethan Allen and what he did. Look up the individual names of the founding fathers and early warriors. And what they did was astounding in a country that didn't have roads like we know roads today. Can you imagine dragging cannon through mud a foot deep, 100 miles, just to get it in position to fight? There was nothing convenient or easy about winning the war against the English and fighting and winning our freedom. And I'm not about to give it up because some turban-headed fuckstick wants to take away my bacon, rape my sister and the women in my world, and subject me to a law that is foreign to both my constitution and my personal belief system, or subject myself to some asshole in Europe at Davos who thinks I should eat bugs and take whatever injection they want to give me and subject myself to a medical experiment that'll give me fucking cancer or an aneurysm or a heart attack or fill my system full of clots. See what I'm saying? This is why they want to poison us, folks. 150 million American gun owners. They can't just come over and do what they want. So they're poisoning the air with chemtrails. Oh, by the way, Congress is aware of what that is. They've authorized it. They're paying them. See what I'm saying? See why I'm pissed off at Congress? Why I'm pissed that Trump isn't doing even more? Why it's not fast enough. Whatever they're doing isn't fast enough. As on a daily basis, people are still dying from the Jim Jones juice. While they threaten us with more pandemic, folks. Oh yeah, more. I went to the store. Eggs. Yeah, the price has come down. But guess what? They're like, you can only buy 2 cartons. 2 cartons of eggs. And I found absolutely zero turkey. I like to have turkey meat tacos on Tuesday. I mix it up. Turkey, then beef, turkey, then beef. You know, a little variety in there. Right? But I'm like, where's the ground fucking turkey? Right? I know they were killing chickens. Now they're killing fucking turkey. In any event, folks, look, freedom and liberty is backed up not just by gun owners, but by your will. Call, write, text, email your congressional representatives and the president. Send messages to Pam Bondi through X, Twitter. Same with Kash Patel. I do it every fucking day, and I hope the bitch reads them. I hope Trump pays attention. I hope Congress will fucking listen. We don't have 4 years, folks. I like to look at things as there's a problem today. It needs to be solved today, right now. And you, Dan the man, I know you're a good man. Chin Music, I know you're good. Darcy T, I know you're good. Bonnie Blue, I know you're good. Robin G, I know you're good. Everyone that contributes here, I know you're good. Everyone that participates in the comment section, I know you're good people. Stand up for yourselves and stand up for others. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Right? Maggot Mike Johnson is not going to fight for us unless we demand he does. And even then, I see him as weak. Absolutely weak. Right? These Democrats are weak. But they're willing to fight, even though they're weak intellectually. Like Jamie Raskin, who's a Democrat representative. The man is a loathsome liberal sack of shit. He's blaming Trump for all of the attacks on Tesla vehicles and Tesla dealerships. Number one, he's retarded. Number two, the violence is going to go, folks, from being against cars, the Teslas, and dealerships. By the way, the cars are typically owned by Democrats. But the violence is going to go from being against cars to against you and me, humans. Because as I put up there earlier, these people are calling Republicans the enemy, calling us evil, saying we're violent when they're the violent ones. It's going to be easy to victimize Republicans unless you are one of these right here. 150 million American gun owners who love America, and you're going to stand up for yourself and your neighbors, your community, your state, and your country. We need to get more people to pay attention and see the trouble we're in. Oh, I don't just say, it's Patterson, New Jersey. Fuck them. Well, it's a little country place out in Texas. Fuck it. They can be Muslim. No. Minneapolis, way up there, they got a huge bunch of frickin' Somali worthless bastards. And I'm not afraid to say it. They just love Ilhan Omar, who married her fucking brother, committed fraud to get him in the country, and she's still allowed to be in Congress after shitting all over everybody. Unbelievable. The violence is coming for us all. All right, Mr. Uman, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? And it's Kate Bremer, a name I haven't heard before, so welcome, Kate. And she's done a $10 super chat donation. And this is interesting. She said the protesters in Turkey, speaking of Turkey, were throwing around the devil horn hand sign. I think he was trying to warn people about this a few years back, before the Q-tard garbage started. It's prominent now. It's everywhere now. The evil is everywhere around the planet. I mean, America, we're fighting our own fight. Look what Ireland is fighting. Their own government is bringing in illegals, going into communities, displacing all the Irish, and putting these immigrants into homes. And the Irish police, they're Irishmen, they're white, red hair. They're upholding this action. They're pushing their own people aside and bringing in these worthless motherfuckers from countries like Turkey or Libya or Syria or Morocco or Tunisia or Egypt or wherever the fuck they're coming from. Right. The trust the plan. Where has that gotten us? Don't trust the plan, folks. Tell the government what to do. Demand the government obey their oaths in the Constitution. We don't have a whole lot of time left. Getting prepared first and foremost. Protect yourself. Things go bad, you won't have police. You won't have electricity. You won't have water. So you need food. You need water. You need to have decent shelter. Your home. Do you know how to fortify your home with sandbags? Do you know how to defend your street, your driveway? Right? Food, water, shelter, clothing. Some areas you don't need to worry about clothing. Other areas, that's life and death. Medicine means a self-defense. That's what having a plan is about. Once you're prepared, right, you're good. But we need to get other people to wake up and get prepared. Thank you, Kate, very, very much. Glad you could join the show. Make sure you tell everyone you know. If you're new to this, don't be afraid to tell other people. Wake the fuck up. Get over there. There's a lot of social media channels like this one that are all joining together. We're joined. We have the same messages. Some of us have different language, different backgrounds, but we all love America. Don't let other people do your thinking for you. The Q-tards, they want to sit back and trust the plan. That didn't work so well. They trusted the plan and Trump lost. We got Biden. We got 4 years of invasion, 4 years of fruitcakes with rainbows, 4 years of kids cutting off their genitals. Unfucking believable. It just truly is. In any event, Mr. Uman, who's next on the Prepared Mind channel? We got 425 people climbing high. And we got Boomer. He's back again with another $20 super chat donation. And he says, Boomer does, in Western Europe, people are getting knifed and attacked on a daily basis by radical Islamists. I call them Jihad Joes. In fact, if you saw these people, would you feel safe? If these people were in your face screaming and yelling? Oh, I think not. And we keep bringing them in. This isn't going to end well. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Because if there's just one or two of them, right, they're like, hey, it's cool, man. We're nice. We're not going to do anything wrong. We're not going to push our religion on you, our belief, our faith. No. You get a few more of them, and they're like, hey, we're not being treated fairly. Right? They start making demands. The more of them there are, the louder they get. The louder they get, the more they demand that they have it their way, that they be given money, that you get the hell out of the place, that they can tell you what to do, that they can threaten you, that they can rape your daughters and your wives and take your property. They rape goats too. In any event, it's not going to end well, Boomer. I pray that as a gentleman where you live, that you have all the firearms you need to help protect yourself, and you can even arm others. That's the good thing about Americans having close to 1 billion weapons, is we can arm ourselves and others, so we can all protect all of ourselves. Now, with respect to people that, well, would like to see us killed, either with the Jim Jones juice, poisonous food, poisonous air, poisonous water, poisonous medicines, or psychological poisoning, like religion. If your religion doesn't promote peace, but instead says, go ahead and rape little girls. You can marry 9-year-old girls. Go ahead and dig tunnels to hide your weapons and to hide your slaves, right? This is what they do over in the Middle East, folks. In Israel and Gaza, that's what they do. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. These Satanists, same story. The same story. They've been hiding in the darkness for years. And now they feel so emboldened, so brazen that they're going to come out in the daylight and say, we're going to have a black mass at the state capitol. The Islamists will come out and say, we're taking over your country. Sharia law is the law. And when there's enough of us, we're going to take over the whole country, and you and everything you have is going to be ours. That needs to stop. It needs to go away. And the only way that's going to happen, my friends, countrymen, is if all the bad guys are dead. You can't coexist with evil. You can't coexist with Satanists. You can't coexist with people who say they're the religion of peace as they stick a fucking knife in your neck. Can't. Right? Anyways, I don't want to promote violence. I'm just telling you violence is going to come. Are you prepared to deal with it? Are you prepared to deal with it? Chance favors the prepared mind, folks. All right, Mr. Uman, who's up next? What do we have? We got Redneck Roughneck, and he said, here's an inconvenient truth. Oh, I love them. Democrats are all screaming about mass shooting events. And there's none at these pro-Palestinian protests. Wonder why? Because 91% of mass shootings since the year 2000 have been committed by leftists. That's correct. It's absolutely correct. And not only are they leftists, folks, but they're typically trans. And if you're not an American, by the way, if you're not a U.S. born person, you can't own a gun. When you go to buy a gun, guess what? They ask you if you're a U.S. citizen. They ask if you're from a foreign country. They ask if you're a criminal. And when they try to buy guns, they're told, no, you can't. That's the only reason in America these wackadoo fuckheads from other countries don't have guns. Now, listen, they still get them. They steal them. They buy them off the black market or illegal gun market, if you will. And they're using them to commit crimes to commit violent crimes, to threaten people, to shoot people. But not all of them have them. But I'm sure they learned exactly how to handle firearms from their idiotic jihad buddies who love to shoot from the hip and just waste their ammunition. There's going to be hell to pay, folks. Anyways, thank you, Redneck Roughneck. Woo! I tell you, Mr. Uman, who's up next? We've got, less than 15 minutes left, and we got Dan the Man Erickson back again. $5 super chat donation. And he says, I bought $20,000 in Tesla stock last week at $235 a share. It will come back up, I'm certain. I'm sure. I tell you what, Dan, I hope it does. What has happened is the left, in an attempt to hurt Tesla, which is supposed to hurt Elon Musk, is they've been selling off their stock, right, in an effort to hurt Elon Musk. What they don't realize is every state, every company, every investment group owns shares of Tesla stock, right? I believe Elon Musk owns 13% of the company, and shareholders, which is investors from all walks of life, teachers, firemen, policemen, government employees, they're all a bunch of Democrat fuckheads, but they own Tesla stock. They're hurting themselves by trying to destroy the company, right? But yeah, I really believe it's going to come right back up, Dan. I hope for your sake that it's a great investment choice and that you're rewarded for it. I think other Americans who under normal circumstances wouldn't consider buying a Tesla, I hope that they do. Just to fucking poke Democrats in the eye and to basically give a thumbs up and a thank you to Elon Musk for doing what he's doing. We're at a turning point, folks. We're on a razor's edge. Which way this country's going to go? We're either going to fall towards freedom and liberty, or we're going to really fall into absolute and utter chaos. We're going to have a recession, by the way. We're already in a recession. The question is, are they going to lower interest rates to try and hide it? Is Trump going to say no more taxes to reward us for being Americans, to deny this fucked up system they created, which has done no good? The government is funded through the bond market, by the way. They fund all their operations through the bond market. Our taxes is to keep control of us, to socially engineer behavior. In any event, are they going to reduce or eliminate taxes in order to try and keep the economy going, to push us out of a recession/depression? Are we going to end up in civil war? That's what I don't know. Right? So I pray that your Tesla stock goes up, because that would, it'd be good. It'd show that Tesla's doing well. Trump has got other automobile manufacturers in this country come to this country because they don't want to pay tariffs, right? We're going to have economic changes in this world, this planet. It's going to be stunning. It's going to be staggering what changes and what happens over the next couple of years. But to kick it all off, I would really like to see some fucking arrests. Wouldn't you? Thank you. Anyways, Dan, really, dude, I hope you fucking win on that. I own absolutely no Tesla stock. I don't own Ford stock or GM stock or any automotive stock. But anyways, I hope that you do well. They're going to try and ruin us, folks. They're going to try and ruin the people that they don't like. Fight back. Ooh, man, who's up next? What do we got? Who's there? Who that? And it's, holy cow, it's Robin G with a $50 super chat donation. And here we go. Number one, $50 super chat buys me a Glenn Levitt. Just like, well, Dan the Man did, and Darcy T, and Chin Music. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh, I poured that one a little too tall. Sorry about that, Robin. I think that bottle's going to disappear over the week anyways. Here we go. Bottoms up. God bless America, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the fighting spirit in all American men and women and good people around the world who share that spirit with us. Semper Fi. So smooth. Mother's milk. I tell you. So Robin G says windstorms are still causing havoc. 300 plus homes burned from fires in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. Now the Carolinas are having fires. Apparently a South Carolina fire. 2 hikers were arrested. Add preparing against forest fires, whether started intentionally or not. Yeah, part of your prepping plan should include understanding the bad guys want fires. In the LA area, they're still having fires break out. They're saying, hey, it's the fucking homeless. I don't think so. It's terrorists. If 2 hikers were arrested, right? There's probably a reason why they were arrested. Fire is one of the cheapest and easiest ways to terrorize and attack an enemy. So we've had Hawaii burn, Southern California, South Carolina, North Carolina, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Actually had fires up in the Hamptons, New York. We got fires in Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, also down in southern Florida. And that could be agricultural burning. I haven't checked in on that one as closely as I should have. But here's the deal. They are burning the hell out of this country. And it is, January, February, March. It's March 23rd. It's not summer. We just got done with winter. Why are fires getting out of control? Because it is controlled chaos. It is terrorism. Whether it's terrorism caused by hikers or homeless or Islamists that want to burn this country down, or whether it's exacerbated by government, like the worthless Los Angeles government, that the firefighting reservoirs full of water weren't full of water. And the firefighting department was full of big, enormous, disgusting, worthless lesbians who would not hire people who were actually capable of fighting fires, but instead turned it into a woke DEI fire department. Well, what about over in Hawaii? By the way, the guy in charge of Hawaii and their firefighting, right? Apparently he's tied to Obama somehow. Well, they trapped people in Lahaina who ended up burning to death. Unfucking believable. So it's terrorists, it's the government, and government terrorism. It is scary business, folks. Absolutely scary business. And, that scotch warmed me up good. Didn't set me on fire, but it warmed me up good. Thank you, Robin G., for the great support. $50 super chat donation. Again, you guys get your donations. Pow! Right? Keeps the lights on. Keeps the pantry full. I am prepared. 100% prepared for whatever comes my way. But yeah, fires. Absolutely fires. Do you have the ability to put fires out in your area without a fire department? If you see someone starting fires, how do you fix it? How do you stop it? Now, it should be the police. It should be the fire departments doing both those things. If they turn the lights out, how are you going to stop it? How are you going to protect yourself? If they start marching down the streets again, Antifa, BLM. Oh, how about this? How about the Muslim Brotherhood? How about some other foreign Palestinian Hamas type group with literal torches going door to door, demanding money and food, or they'll torch your fucking house? Are you prepared, folks? Are you prepared? Right. There's answers to the problems, folks. It's just whether or not you're willing to take the action, the steps, or whatever to get there. Now, since you and I came on tonight and started talking, almost 2 hours now, folks. Almost 2 hours. Did you know that the jackass, Judge Asberg, he said that there needed to be new laws created to punish the January Sixers. That's what they think, folks. We have laws that stops criminal behavior, that stops an invasion from foreign armies, that stops, right, other people from coming to our country and protesting our freedoms, using our rules against us, fucking us over, taking over our country. But these assholes that want to destroy this country intentionally, they want new laws to punish us. You have to make a choice. We all do. Are you going to stand up for yourself? Are you going to speak up? Are you going to arm up? And are you going to prep up? Or are you going to bend over? Right? Get on your knees and kiss their asses. Unbelievable. Right? We're gonna continue to have to fight for ourselves, folks. UCLA, that's right, the University of California in Los Angeles. They've admitted now that they've let applicants into the school based on race. That's why there are tens of thousands of foreign students in this country. They come here, they get U.S. government money, they go to school, we pay for it. They start protesting us. Right? They want to keep good people out of school. They don't want them educated. They want these indoctrination centers. They're coming after us. There's a news article that just popped up here about having the Declaration of Independence in the Oval Office. I already told you guys about that. I stay ahead of this fucking news, folks. I stay ahead as best I can. Right? Try and keep us all updated. Here's another thing they're going to be pushing for: war with Iran. And they need to bomb Iran because any day now they're going to have a nuclear weapon. I don't like Iran, folks. I like Persians as people, but I don't like Iran. But Israel and the media have said, well, for the last 40 years, in just a few more weeks, Iran is going to have nuclear weapons. They've been saying that since 1980. They're liars, folks. All of these fucking people are liars. But in Colorado, a state representative was forced to cover his offensive Second Amendment sticker on his laptop during the House debate. You see, they want to silence us. What if you had a lapel sticker or button that was Second Amendment or First Amendment? That's why I keep the Trump hat and the MAGA hat in my front window. I'm not going to take it down. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm not going to go away. I'm not going to give in. I'm going to fight, fight, fight. And I want you guys to fight as well. Not violently. But you need to understand your Second Amendment right comes from God, not from government. The government can't take away that which the Almighty's given us. But they're going to try. They'll try and convince you to give up your rights. Don't do it. Don't give up. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. I ask that often. All right, Brad Jones checks in with a $5 super chat donation. And he said, I'd like to sell all my stocks and buy Tesla, but I can't because they are also down. Great show, John. Thank you, Brad, for your continuing support as well. Brad checks in, folks, all the time, from time to time and all the time. But yeah, the stock market has been hit. The wealthy, the insiders, are selling their stocks to sit on a big pile of cash. And they're waiting for a big event. We're going to find out. They're transitioning into commodities, by the way. They're buying commodity stocks, gold and silver, copper, other metals and minerals, refining, processing, right? Energy stocks, uranium, oil, coal apparently is a good stock to invest in. I'm not invested in any coal or natural gas or anything, but there's an energy war because energy is prosperity. Energy is prosperity. Without energy, gas, diesel, coal, uranium, natural gas, without that, nothing goes anywhere. No electricity, no transportation, no food production, nothing. So the wealthy are repositioning themselves for a next bull run in commodities, which always, always, always happens, right? During recessions and downturns in the economy. They've underinvested, by the way, in mining. And just this weekend, President Trump came out and said, we need to reinvest in energy. We need to reinvest in mining and get rid of all the EPA and bullshit government red tape and regulations and impediments and make America great again economically. Like, because we've got all of our own materials here, folks. We need to go get it and put it to work instead of buying cheap shit from China. In any event, folks, it has been a great Sunday night show. I want to thank you for coming here. Share the internet address. Share down below with the share button. Thumbs up. Give it a heart. Whatever it takes. Spread the word. We need to wake up, prep up, and take action to fix America. America first. What an idea. And it's a great show. We had well over 400 people live for a great long time in the show. You guys are amazing. It's your country. Fight for it. Win it back. And let's get rid of the enemy, huh? Let's kick their asses right off the fucking planet. Good golly. Good golly. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 0 Dark 30. Until then, Semper Fi. Have a good night.